Hi, hopefully you've seen the previous episode on how to play the base game. Now I'll take a moment to tell you how to play this game solo. When playing solo, you play against an Automa player called Rita, or RITA, the Robotic Interplanetary Terraforming Arc. The Automa is an AI player that uses a dedicated deck of Automa cards that tell you what to do on the Automa's turn. It's really that simple, but let's take a moment and let's show you exactly how to set up the game and how to play it solo. Okay, so let's talk about the solo mode for Microcosmos. In solo mode, you're playing against Rita, the Robotic Interplanetary Terraforming Arc. Rita has a dedicated deck of Automa cards, which will tell you what to do on the Automa's turn. Now, the gameplay itself is very similar to a normal multiplayer game, with a few changes for the Automa. First of all, the Automa has a unique arc card with only 6 upgrade spots and 2 colony markers already available. It also takes the terraforming markers and places them beside the board. 1 marker is for points. It has a normal cargo hold, so all the resources work the same way. It doesn't use any of the crew tokens, so you can put those aside. And the Automa always starts at the planet that's above. Oops, I haven't flipped these. On the planet above the star portal. Now, the Automa doesn't start with any crew cards, and you are always the starting player. The one thing to remember is that for the Automa, the crew cards only matter for their specialist symbols. That's it. So whenever the Automa receives any crew cards, it's best to just stack them according to the type so that it's easier to see what's going on. But the Automa doesn't receive the 3 cards as a normal player does. So whenever it's the Automa's turn, flip the Automa card and perform the actions going from top to bottom. If the Automa is unable to perform a certain action, simply move on to the next one. Now let's go through all the actions the Automa can take. First of all, it always travels. The Automa only stops on planets, never stops on moons or space stations. And there's one extra rule here. The Automa can always enter any planet, but the thing is that you, as the player, cannot enter the planet with the Automa. So the Automa travels, and depending on the card, it travels clockwise or counterclockwise, and the card tells you which planet it picks as its destination. So it can, for example, go counterclockwise to the first unterraformed planet, or it can go clockwise to the first planet without a colony. Without the Automa's colony, just to be precise. So that's how the traveling works for the Automa. Okay, the second, I'm making a mess here. So the second thing the Automa can do, the second action, is gathering resources. It simply takes the resources depicted on the card. So in this case, biomatter, mineral, and 1 technology. And now the third action is terraforming. Terraforming is performed in the same way as on a normal player's turn. So the Automa's terraforming rating is always also equal to 2 plus the amount of colonies and trading outposts the Automa has already on the planet cards. And thing is that the Automa terraforms always from the left side. So, for example, if the Automa was meant to terraform right now, it would go for, it only has a terraforming rating of 2 because it's only the Automa's arc is on the board. So it would move 1 mineral up on the track because it has, it does have 1 resource and 1 biomatter, and automatically receive 2 points here. Now, scouting. Whenever the Automa scouts, it never looks at the survivors because it doesn't settle them. That's something that the Automa doesn't do at all. So whenever you are supposed to scout for the Automa, simply flip the card and receive the resources, or give the Automa the resources depicted on the card. So in this case, 1 biomatter and 1 mineral. Okay, the other action is that the Automa can take is creating a colony. Do I have a card like this here? Create a colony. Okay, so the Automa pays the same cost as the normal player. So in the case of the first colony on the board, it would require 1 leader of any color and 1 engineer. In this case, the Automa doesn't have any specialists, so as the card says, the Automa will take 2 cards, crew cards from the stack. And that's it for the action. If this card popped up again, right now the Automa would be able to create a colony because it already has a leader of any color and an engineer. In this case, it would discard these 2 cards and place a colony marker on the planet it's on right now. Okay, now whenever the Automa has a trading outpost unlocked and available, it can place it on the board with the create trading outpost action. Do we have it here somewhere? Create trading outpost. In this case, the Automa simply places the trading outpost on the planet it's on, and the same way as the normal player, it would gain 2 points if it placed it on a planet where it has a colony. And the same way as a normal player, it would gain the appropriate resource whenever it or any other player enters that planet. Now, the Automa also has cargo limits as the normal player. So if it was already on the 4th spot on the cargo hold, and let's say I arrived at that planet and was supposed to receive another workforce that I do not have, that it doesn't have room for, it would gain 1 victory point. And the last thing the Automa can do is upgrading. Now, I'll just reset the board here a little bit. Whenever the Automa is supposed to perform an upgrade, it tries to unlock upgrades according to the numbering here on the art card. So it will go from 1 to 6, looking for the option to upgrade. So the first one here is Biodome, which costs 1 engineer card and 2 biomatter. So the Automa doesn't have these resources, so it moves to the next one, to number 2, then 3, 4, 5, and 6. Obviously, right now the Automa doesn't have any specialists, so it wouldn't be able to perform any upgrade. But if it had, let's say, 1 leader, it would move all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th upgrade requires a leader of any color and 1 mineral. So it would slide down this mineral, down, discard the leader, and unlock this colony marker. The same way as the normal player, if whenever it unlocks the upgrade on the opposite upgrade, it also unlocks the trading outpost. And that's it for the Automa's actions. Once the end game is triggered by terraforming 3 planets, final scoring commences. Now, the thing to remember is that the Automa doesn't score any points for survivors because it doesn't look for them and it doesn't settle them. So the Automa scores for the unterraformed planets like the normal player, plus it scores for the number of colonies it has, plus it also gets extra points for the amount of upgrades it was able to unlock. The points for the upgrades depend on the difficulty level you choose, so be sure to take a look at the rulebook, because depending on the difficulty level you choose, well, scoring is different, and also the starting conditions for the Automa are different too. Okay, I hope you understood everything. I'll put some markers here if I make any goofs on the edits. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, and be sure to check out the other video on our channel where I made a whole solo playthrough so that you'll see all these Automa actions in action. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Have fun. Thanks for watching.